week 3 fallout.
Yes.
People really liked when we did that 0-2 and 2-0 and then the hot takes, like kind of having themes to the breakdowns. I want to call this one Believe It or Not.
All right.
All right. So we have 6 3-0 teams. Let's break down the game that they played in week 3. And then let's also talk about if you believe it or not. Not that they're going to go undefeated. Not that they're going to win a Super Bowl, but they're going to be a 1 playoff team, 2 a serious threat contender. Let's just see it. So where do you want to start?
I say we start with the team I'm not a believer in. The 3-0 Los Angeles Chargers.
Whoa, dude. Okay, I strongly disagree. So I like this.
This is a great place to start.
I like this. By the way, Denver Broncos 1-2. I feel really good about them being the AFC team I was not high on. Remember, we had 2 teams that people were blowing smoke up their ass. It was the Pats and it was Denver coming into this season.
Yep.
And then in the NFC, I think the team that a lot of people were really, really high on were the San Francisco 49ers because of the last place schedule, because of everyone getting back that they lost last year, which we'll get to San Fran in a second. Why do you not like the Chargers, bro?
I need to get this point across first. Yesterday's game was one of the biggest penalty discrepancy games in NFL history, in my opinion. The final penalties ended up being that the Broncos had 10 for 90 yards and the Chargers had 3 for 25 yards. Now, you can tell me that, sure, maybe the Chargers are a little more fundamental. There was a lot of plays on key drives that the Chargers scored points on in which there was the defensive holdings, the defensive interferences. I wasn't necessarily sold that the Chargers won that game outright, especially with the way that the Broncos defense got after Justin Herbert yesterday in like a mean way. So I am less of a believer in the Chargers because of those 2 things. And I honestly want to push back on you saying that they're going to be the worst team in the AFC. And I think they're the second best team in the AFC. I don't think that the Chiefs are as good as people would like to hope that they are. And I think we've obviously seen what the Raiders have done the first 3 weeks, and nobody can feel that confident in the silver and black right now. The last thing I'll leave you with that kind of will hint at how high I am on the Broncos is, bro, they're just missing the shot plays by a yard. Sean Payton is one of the best offensive coordinators in an air raid system. I've never seen a coach on more 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts go vertical down the field than he does with confidence. And that's being a master at the game. Now, all these things being said, I didn't say shit about the Chargers, and that's because I don't believe in the Chargers.
To your point, Bo Nix missed a couple of long touchdowns yesterday, which he would probably want back. I think for me, your only reliable weapon is Courtland Sutton on a consistent basis. Bo Nix on passes of 10 or plus air yards, 3 of 9. And about 3 of them were just like dropped a yard too far. I want to push back because I think this version of the Chargers are for real. And I know we've had these conversations in the past, but here's why I think it's different. Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh, everywhere he's gone in year 2, it looks like this. And I know last year they got their shit punched in that wild card game against Houston. Justin Herbert looked so bad. And then the last time they were in the playoffs to the Jaguars, they blew a 28-point lead. So it's been bad for them in the playoffs. However, they're 3-0. All 3 wins coming against AFC West rivals. That's massive because we always say if you just beat up on your division, you could find 4 wins somewhere else.
Yep.
And then you could clean house that way. I think Justin Herbert is playing at such a high level that Quentin Johnston is getting open, 6 times a game that he just misses him on, or he'll hit him on a couple, but this guy is like wide open a bunch. This guy was supposed to be out the league coming into this year. the biggest question mark for this Chargers offense was, all right, we know about McConkey, stud in the slot. They get back Keenan Allen, which, bro, what a revelation that's been.
Yep.
Comes back, it's like he never left. He's balling out. The throw that Justin Herbert made in that second half, the touchdown pass to Keenan Allen, if he wins MVP this year, which now he has the third best odds at plus 600, that's the throw they're going to be showing. Rolling out to his left, a fucking rope. The ball looked like it got 4 feet off the ground. Like that shit was a laser right to Keenan Allen. They end up tying the game there to put it at 20 apiece. They lose a running back. They don't have Khalil Mack. They don't have Rashawn Slater. This team is continuing to evolve and do it in different ways now. This was supposed to be run. Nah, man, Herbert is out there slinging. And I think this version of the Chargers is way different than years past because they have a competent head coach and a competent quarterback. Do you remember in the summertime I said one of the 3 quarterbacks that was going to have the most pressure on him was Justin Herbert coming into this year? And I think the pairing of Harbaugh and Herbert together, that's a top 5, top 6 pairing in the league.
And?
Great girl. Madison Beer. Google her. Fantastic. That's good PEDs.
It is.
Good PEDs.
The night before a game?
Night before a game.
She's allowed in the room.
Knowing what's waiting for you after, right? He's a $250 million player. And he's balling out, man. He's balling out. I strongly disagree. I think they are for real, and I'm buying. Now, are they the best team in the AFC? No. I still think it's Buffalo. Hell, I still think it's Baltimore. We don't even know what the result of this Monday Night Football game is going to be at the time that we're recording. So right now they have a 2-game lead in division. It's really 2.5 games because they have the tiebreakers over everyone. Can't agree with you on this one, bro. I'm buying.
Okay.
I'm buying.
I really am going to invest heavy into Broncos stock in the coming weeks. I'm going to be preaching this narrative because I know that when you have an offense like that and you can scheme guys open deep, dude, you're in every ball game. Nothing's out of reach for you. And he's going to make the Marvin Mims of the world household names eventually when those start connecting. So
can I just, staying with the Chargers?
Yeah.
I always like to pull up awards and just see odds and just kind of like a lot of times why I react a certain way to bets or to props is because in my mind I have a number and then I see what the number is and I'm like, that's off. Remember Puka a couple years ago?
Yep.
We were talking on the show about Puka being Offensive Rookie of the Year. And I was saying, Tyler, you or Josh, I forgot who I was talking about, but I remember the clip. I remember just pulling on my laptop. I'm like, yeah, it should be him and CJ Stroud. He should be like plus 800. He was 30-1. I was like, bro, whoa, what the hell? Look how that's aged.
Right.
Second favorite for Offensive Player of the Year, Puka Nacua right now. I say all that because I think the best defensive player in the league so far through 3 games that I've seen is Derwin James. This dude is everywhere, shutting down tight ends, covering running backs out the backfield, tackling in space, pass deflections. He's very noticeable on the field. Do you know what his odds are for Defensive Player of the Year?
I would say, because you listed all that, maybe 40-1, 30-1.
100-1.
I like that number.
Listen,
he went
bro,
off yesterday. What was his stat line yesterday?
He's gone
crazy.
off this whole year. This whole year he's played very, very well.
12 tackles, a sack, 4 tackles for loss.
And he just stands out, bro. He just stands out. And I think this year is a huge year for the Chargers. I think it's a huge year for him. Look, through the season so far, he has where is it? I just loaded on me. He has 1 sack. He has 26 tackles. He has 2 pass deflections. And I just think that when he's out there on the field, he's making a massive impact. And we just saw a defensive back win the award last year in Patrick Surtain. I threw $20 on it, bro. $2K if it hits. I think it's definitely in play. Now, he's had some injury history go against him. But it was just one of those numbers where it just jumped out to me. I kind of was, after
That's fair.
After I finished editing everything, and I'm on TikTok, and I'm just scrolling. I go and I look at the apps, and I'm just over there. I'm like, whoa, that's a mistake. So yeah, I just want to put it out there. We can archive this and save this for the future.
It's good. Sometimes you got to throw the long shots out there just in case.
Yeah.
What's the next team you want to go over that's 3-0?
Let's talk about. All right, how about this? I'll tell you a team that I'm not buying.
Okay.
The 49ers.
I wrote at the beginning, I am a believer, and then I was like, I can't be a believer in every team. So I flipped my decision on them to not being a believer.
So here's the reason why I'm not a believer, bro. No team in the last 5 years has had worse injury luck than them. They're fucking snake bit, bro. Last year, Ricky Pearsall got shot. And then McCaffrey was banged up coming into the year. Then Ayuk gets hurt. Debo, the wear and tear. Kittle played the majority of the season last year. Now he's out. Then they missed a lot of players on defense. They come back. Now Nick Bosa is expected to miss the rest of the year with a torn ACL. They already lost Brock Purdy. Ayuk isn't back. McCaffrey, every time he plays, you're like, damn, he's a baller. But then you also wonder, when is he going to collapse and miss a game? You got to expect him to do so because that's just the track record of everything that's been going on with him. And even Mac Jones is gimping around back there. He looks hurt. So, yes, they have a pretty easy schedule. They had the easiest schedule coming into the year. Yes, they're 3-0. Yes, they're 2-0 in division. It's going to come to a point where the injuries are just going to add up. They already changed the kicker from Moody to Pinheiro. And I just think that it's back-to-back years where they're just having the season from hell, which there got to be voodoo on them, bro. Because usually you have one season where you're like, dude, we lost like 18 starters, like what the Lions had last year.
Yeah.
Or the Ravens a couple years ago. The Niners a couple years ago. But this is constantly happening to them. And that's the reason why I'm selling my stock on the Niners.
It's so funny to me with this Shanahan system, Nick, and this is why I initially had wrote I am a believer. Because do you remember the NFC Championship game in 2020? It was the 49ers versus the Packers. And the most amazing stat to have ever come out of any NFL NFC Championship game, a game in which it was perfect weather, was that Jimmy Garoppolo attempted 9 passes and the 49ers still won by 18 points. That Shanahan system, bro, you just need to have a fucking pulse and know a snap count and how to hand off left and how to hand off right. I'm going to run McCaffrey into the ground this year because the offensive line is getting decent push. I think that Mac Jones looks competent. Like the passes that Mac Jones was making yesterday, they weren't any slouch out routes. I mean, this dude was literally dotting it in the middle of the field a lot of the times. And the plays that Ricky Pearsall was making, like he's officially Slick Rick.
Like that.
He's Slick Rick, bro. From here on out, number 1 is wide receiver 1 in San Francisco. That's why I had wrote initially, I'm a believer in this team. Because I didn't even mention that their defense, obviously Bosa being out the rest of the season hurts. Top 5 in every category, and they're playing shit quarterbacks for the rest of the year. Like they are going to be a gauntlet. They're going to be one of those teams that we look at come week 10. They're going to have an insane record, and they're going to be playing like a legitimate contender, and they're going to get smoked by like 30 points. And we're going to be like frauds.
Yeah.
Already, it's inbound with this team. But the first thing that we're going to see as a true test is week 5 at Los Angeles or against the Rams. Can't say at Los Angeles, but yes.
Well, bro,
it's going to be
another reason why
for the division.
Another reason why I don't like them is because I was wrong on Seattle. Boy, do they look good. Mm-hmm. And I know it was the Saints, but that's what you're supposed to do to the Saints.
Yep.
Supposed to beat the shit out of them.
Yep.
Cardinals are 2-1. Rams are 2-1. Seahawks are 2-1. 49ers are 3-0. I think they're the one that's trending down while the other teams are trending up. And then Arizona's kind of like middling.
Bro, we have to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr.
What's there to talk about? I told you he's no longer he's do not prop list, do not like list. He ruined the generational. He cost us $200K, man. Cost us $200K. Last year we had Josh Allen for MVP, Saquon Barkley for Offensive Player of the Year, and the Offensive Rookie of the Year. We had the generational talent Marvin Harrison Jr. And yeah, he's forever an op.
Did you see his post-game press conference where he was like obviously being grilled and like the way he answers these questions?
No, I didn't see it.
I recommend everybody go watch it just because like he should obviously be devastated, and he is in his answer, but like he has like this like half smile on his face that I just couldn't help but think like, motherfucker, can you look a little more sad? You dropped pivotal passes and then like the biggest spots, bro. Like you should be at tears or very short, angry with yourself. Like instead you have like a half smile as you tell us like how like sorry you are. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just a state of shock.
Well, he dropped that one touchdown that he was so wide open. It was crazy. Like it looked like a punt.
Yep.
It was bad. Yeah. I just something about Arizona all the time. I think Seattle, shout out to Pamela. She was very, very high. Pamela Maldonado from ESPN. She was on the show and she said that it's a two-team race. And one of the teams that she picked was Seattle. And, you know, it was like, who was going to be the hipster team? Was it Seattle or Arizona? She was on Seattle. And so far they look really good, man. They're one Nick Bosa play away from actually winning that game against the Niners in week 1.
Yep.
So for me, I'm just off San Francisco. Let's talk about the Eagles.
I was about to say.
Game of the week. All right, bro, this game, right? First of all, this game, fire game. It was a banger. Watched that entire game from start to finish. It was on the 4-box. And then at one point, when the Eagles started creeping back in that second half, I put it on the laptop as an ISO. Number one, Jalen Hurts MVP. It's back.
Oh,
right?
it's so back.
He got to throw a little bit. We like to see that. Aren't the Eagles fun when they air it out like that? When the Eagles actually let it rip, they're a really fun team, bro. Dallas Goedert, Smith, A.J. Brown. Obviously, we know about Barkley. Obviously, we know about the tush push, but he throws 3 touchdowns in the second half, and they come back. As a Rams backer, I feel very good about that game in the sense that they could go toe-to-toe with them. I feel shitty that they let that one slip because now they're going to be a game and a half back of not having that game play in Philly in January. And then if you're the Rams also, you're saying to yourself like, bro, they blocked 2 field goals on us, which led to, I know recency bias is a real thing. Rams plus 3.5 that you had is one of the worst bad beats of all time.
Yep.
Like, say I've been doing veterans minimum for 10 years now. I think it's in the Mount Rushmore of bad beats. Like, bro, the fact that they blocked the field goal to give them the 1-point win was crazy enough. But then to score was
not just anybody to score.
Yeah.
Possibly the biggest human that was on the field who looked so fucking fast. I don't know if we could get a next gen speed.
Well, they said he ran 18 miles per hour.
Just watch the ticket just go into flames.
Bro, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. The Eagles overcame a 26-7 deficit in the second half. That's a championship team right there, man. That is a championship team. 226 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. A.J. Brown went crazy, 6 for 109 and a touchdown. This team, like, I don't know if they're just slowly becoming acclimated to the offense with Patullo, the new offensive coordinator there. That's what it kind of seems like. And I wonder if they went in there at halftime and it was like, yo, bro, we've had this core for about 3 years now. And yeah, Saquon is new, but he's a champion. Let us call the plays on this one. Because it looked like a lot of schoolyard bullshit that was working.
So there was a couple of things when I went back and I watched this game, because there was a clear night and day difference between the first half and the second half of the Eagles. A lot of what I think is the Eagles' problem is the same thing I said was the problem with Jalen Hurts last year, and that he is not a rhythm type quarterback. But when he is, and he keeps things simple, he is one of the best to do it, because he has a great velocity on the ball. He knows where to put it. A.J. Brown, I mean, you could literally put it in a 6-foot vicinity anywhere near him, and you're guaranteeing yourself a catch and possibly 10 yards after the catch. What I mean by simple is just watch him for the rest of the year, and every play that Jalen Hurts doesn't go 3 steps back and throw, just consider it a broken play. And there's going to be no yards. And even if he does get outside the pocket and he scrambles, I don't think that that's where he thrives. And when you watch the second half of the Eagles game, bro, it was simple shit. And I don't know if that was a mix between they kept it simple and the Rams were kind of playing like a lax defense. But I feel confident in both of these teams and a lot of our picks that we have tied to these teams, because this Eagles offensive line looked pretty good. This is one of the best defensive lines in the league, though. Like, this Rams D-line could send 4 and get pressure every fucking play. So I was very confident to see that the Rams were, or the Eagles were able to figure things out in the second half, and their defense, when they needed stops the most, bro, I don't think there's a defensive line that you'd want to go up against least than the Philadelphia Eagles to try to get 1 yard. Like, they are 2 huge humans in Davis and Carter that plug up the middle. So I'm a huge 100% believer in the Eagles. I find it hilarious every time they boo. They boo a Super Bowl champion after putting up 7 points in the first half. It's a ruthless fan base, bro.
Nah, it really is, man. It really is. They booed Santa Claus famously. If you boo Santa, it's kind of fucked up, you know? Like, who sees Santa Claus and they're upset? Eagles fans.
Jewish people.
And them. Yeah, and them as well. Here's the other thing, right? The only thing that sucks is that the Rams failed to finish in the second half, and they get stuffed on a 4th and short near midfield, and then from there the floodgates just opened up. And even with all that, when you play teams like Philly, when you play teams like Buffalo, you play teams like Kansas City, you can't settle for field goals, bro. You can't settle for field goals. That is why the Bengals in the past, they'd have success against the Bills and the Chiefs in the playoffs, because Joe Burrow would always make the check down on 3rd and 7 that led to a first down, as opposed to airing it out deep downfield. Remember when Josh Allen aired it out to Stephon Diggs and he dropped that pass? That would have been like, that was like 90 yards in the air, it felt like. That was an iconic touchdown or play. If he completes it, he drops it, and then that's the last time that he plays with the Bills. And I remember coming on the show being like, yo, bro, I don't want to hear nothing now. If you're a receiver, you have every right to bitch and moan to the offensive coordinator, the quarterback, the head coach, that you're not getting the ball. But then when you do get the opportunity to play well and to make a play and you don't, shut your ass up.
Yeah.
That's how it got to be, bro. And listen, the Rams, I will say, Puka Nacua, I told you this, I don't know if it was in the summer, but at one point I was like, yo, he's the best wide receiver in the league, that we still don't feel comfortable putting him in that conversation.
It's crazy when you put it like that. Yeah, I thought you were going to mention that you wanted to put him as offensive player of the year for a little bit.
Listen, I bet him at 16-1 for offensive player. My main pick was Bijan Robinson, but it was like a toss up between one or the other. And Puka right now, he's second. Puka and Adams together, bro. Adams still got it. Adams is,
by the way,
pat on the back.
It was like
best move any team made this offseason, bro.
It was like a hate crime in the secondary. Every time you saw Blankenship, and it was like to get me the ball.
Yeah.
That first touchdown was so filthy, bro, because the best receivers in the league, when they get away with push-offs, there's nothing cleaner about it. Yeah, he looked legit, but on every big-time possession or pivotal play, they went Nacua's way.
Yeah.
Kill shots.
Oh, every time, yeah.
Darted in the middle. Nacua's going to get hit by 3 different guys.
Yeah.
Pause.
Also, how about this? Nacua yesterday catches a pass, gets up and does this.
Flag.
15-yard penalty.
Give me a break, bro. Give me a break.
Have I not been ranting about this for years now? How is that a penalty? But then when a defense gets a turnover, all 11 players sprint to the end zone and do a choreographed dance celebration. That's not taunting? That's taunting, bro. That's taunting. Come on, man. 15-yard penalty there. NFL got to fix it. That shit is the most frustrating play. And just to put a bow on this conversation, it's hard not to buy the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
3-0, good wins, really good wins. Really, like, you beat a serious contender in your conference. You won the Super Bowl rematch on the road, and then you beat a healthy divisional opponent who, not for nothing, Dak Prescott kind of owns the division. Does really well against the division. And they're 3-0. They could use another corner, reliable corner. Talking about it with Isaiah yesterday, he said that, opposite of Mitchell, it's like a Dory Jackson. I don't know if I want a Dory Jackson because I saw him on the Giants. He looked fucking awful. They're going to need another corner because they use Cooper DeJean like in the slot, but like another outside corner because they're just picking on that person. So we'll see. But overall, I'm buying the Eagles. What's another team 3-0 you want to talk about?
Got to keep it brief with this one. The Colts, bro. The Colts being a 3-0 team with Daniel Jones, and you've been mentioning Puka Nacua as number 2 in the Offensive Player of the Year spot. Number 1, Jonathan Taylor, this is the version of him that we've seen regularly. Last year, it was really no different. It's just now that they have Daniel Jones at the helm, bro, they look unbeatable. And I had said at the beginning of the year, Colts, 14 wins, shock the AFC. It's looking amazing. It's looking really fucking good right now.
Hey, man, listen, even last week, you could have got them at 40-1 to be the number 1 seed in the NFL because of, their division is not, it's a lot harder than what Buffalo's is. But again, they'll be playing a lot of games indoors. Yeah, they look good, bro. They look good. But you were on them. Do you got anything else you want to say about them? Because I'm buying.
Regardless of what happens this week with the Rams, them going to the Rams, still 100% bought into this team. Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to say Jonathan Taylor at 500 plus 500 to win Offensive Player of the Year is pretty nice. I bet at the beginning of the year, what do you think he was? I couldn't find those odds.
Jonathan Taylor was probably, I would guess, like 35 to 45 to 1 around there.
Yeah.
Look, he's been very good for a very long time, man. He's been just solid. And then, he came on, he's still young. He's still 26. Like now he's in his prime. He got this year and the next 2 where like he's in his absolute apex, but he had that 1 year, which was crazy. I believe he had like 1,800 yards from scrimmage. And then the last couple of years he's been hurt or he hasn't had the right team around him. But, they have a lot of playmakers, man. Michael Pittman Jr., I think, is awesome. Tyler Warren is the second favorite for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Alec Pierce, obviously Taylor. Daniel Jones has a clean pocket. They look really, really good. And I think because of the division, they're 3-0. They have a win in division over the Titans. Sure, they should have lost the game to Denver, but hey, this is what we talk about, the 1-possession games.
Yep.
I'm buying the Colts.
I have a good long shot bet that I'm going to say for the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. But it involves the Colts. That's it for me on them. We're believers.
Bucks are 3-0. Thoughts?
Oh, you better become a believer ASAP, bro, because this team, don't let that having to come from behind, another block field goal situation with the Jets this weekend. Really, it's like a fourth quarter collapse from the Buccaneers. They were playing way too soft, and that's how the Jets were able to come back. But it doesn't matter that they had to come back. When you have Baker Mayfield, the quarterback that I said at the beginning of the year, this is going to be the season where we remember the fucking name. He looks better than ever with a trash offensive line, and that offensive line should be back to, I would say, 100% in the next couple of weeks. Once they get up to full strength and it's not Baker Mayfield having to scramble for his life and do everything, hopefully Bucky Irving could rejoin the conversation because the run game has been shit. But I have been struggling. I'm like, is it the AFC South or the NFC South that is the worst division in football? Like, just unwatchable brand of just NFL teams that can't figure it out. I think the NFC South still takes the cake, especially with the way that the Falcons looked yesterday, and the overreaction that people are going to have on the Panthers. Needless to say, this Bucs team is going to smoke the division, and once they get that offensive line figured out, best offensive football is still possible with that receiving core.
Yeah, look, I think the only thing I will push back is they easily have the best quarterback in the division.
Mm-hmm.
I think Todd Bowles went from overrated to now underrated, underappreciated. Mike Evans, hamstring, who knows how that's going to linger. They're going to get Chris Godwin back. Wirfs is going to come back. They lost 2 guys on the offensive line, which, you know, I felt like, and it's easy to say now, but I like the Jets in that spot, like with the points. But then again, they were up 18 points. They were getting worked.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, they were getting worked. And then they just, you know, collapsed there in the second half. Mike Evans got hurt, like we said. It's hard to argue against it because the division is so bad, right? Like the Saints, we could completely throw them out. I think Atlanta we could throw out. Like, bro, the fact that Atlanta was a 6-point favorite and got shut out on the road to Carolina, who I understand 0-2 season on the line. I get it. But, bro, that was a complete no-show. That was an unbelievably bad performance to the point where Bijan Robinson, again, 3 straight games, over 100 yards from scrimmage. He's 4th in Offensive Player of the Year, but the team is probably going to be abysmal. Yeah. So he might put up the yardage, but it's not going to be on a, you know, it matters. Like Offensive Player of the Year, it's a stat-driven award. But if the tiebreaker is, all right, 2 guys got 2,000 yards, but one guy's on a 13-4 team, the other guy's on a 6-11 team, we're going to go with the guy who's on the better team.
Yep.
So that's where I'm going to be worried about Bijan Robinson. But with Tampa Bay, I'm only buying because of the quarterback and because of the division. I'm a little worried because, look, they're going to play 6 playoff contenders in the next 8 games. They play Philly this week, Seattle, the Niners, the Lions, the Rams, and the Bills. It's hard to play those teams when you're fully healthy. Now you got these injuries. I'd be a little careful.
That's a good call. That is a really good call for them because maybe they go on a slide and it becomes that muckied up NFC South and you could get a good price on them to win the division if they utterly collapse these next couple of weeks. I don't think it's going to happen. I heard a couple of things to wrap up this game. How did you feel about Aaron Glenn's dance after the field goal?
It was funny. GIF of the year.
For sure.
It's
good GIF.
Yeah,
it was
like
3 seconds long.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
It was cool. I just think that you ended up losing.
That's the worst part.
Yeah. It's like Neighbors. You were talking about Neighbors against the Cowboys when he hit this. That could have been a franchise altering. From then on, it deletes the Bo photo. But no, it doesn't matter. Last team, believe it or not.
Last team,
Buffalo
3-0. I mean,
3-0. Yeah.
I mean,
let's not waste too much time.
The Bills have scored 30 plus points in each of their first 3 games for the second straight season in a row. The last time that this happened, Nick, we were just coming out of World War II in 1948. They're that good.
Legendary. Absolutely legendary.